Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. We are coming to you today from the Atheneum Hotel in downtown Detroit, and we are here for Dome IQ. And this is a very unique situation here that Chuck Perricone has put together to help legislators actually talk to each other and learn more about quick ways to do things, I guess, expedient ways. We have John Friske with us right now from the 107th Representative District. And John, it's good to have you here. How you doing?
I'm doing well. My name's Neil.
Neil, I'm sorry. I had John on. Well, this is interesting because
John was before me.
John was John DeMoose.
Exactly.
So it's interesting because this is not nepotism, but it is succession.
Right.
So you are filling John's position.
Yes. Yep. I'm in the 107th district, and John just finished one term there, and then as he's explained, he ran for Senate. And so I know you're going to ask me about why I got into politics, and part of that was those logistical things. So in the redistricting, I live in Charlevoix, and in the redistricting, my county, Charlevoix County, got moved into the 107th. I was currently in the 105th with Ken Borton from out of the Gaylord area, and so that was the first thing that happened. And then when John decided to run for Senate, that created a vacancy. And one thing led to another, and here I am.
And here you are. Excellent, excellent. So let's talk a little bit about issues in your area. What are the issues in your area?
Well, you know, it's interesting because at these meetings like today and different things that I go to, the issues really are very similar throughout the whole state. Just sometimes, you know, the impact is slightly different. The logistics of getting things accomplished are slightly different. But, you know, up in our area, you know, housing's a big issue. There's a lot of things going on with affordable housing, which ties into the labor shortage issue. They kind of go hand in hand. I have a small business. I've been fortunate enough to be a small business owner my whole life, and so I can speak to that personally. I had, you know, I'm up and down all the time. I mean, a year ago I had 6 people working. Last year I had 2 people working, and it wasn't because I wanted it that way, but that's all I could find.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing because I also own a small rental home down the road from my house, and by the time I figure all my costs out, the amount of rent I have to charge makes it tough. It's really tough. So unfortunately, there's no simple answer to that. I think from a legislative perspective, maybe the best thing that I can do as a legislator is get out of the way. You know, too much government regulation is what stifles small business so often, and so less regulation, getting out of the way so that, you know, whether it's local small investors or bigger companies that want to come into areas and work on housing issues. And so those are really, you know, for Northern Michigan, those are pretty important things. Obviously, a lot of my district is more remote, and so, you know, technology, fiber, broadband, you know, that's a hot topic. In my district is Line 5, so, you know, energy in the Line 5 topic is a hot topic up in Northern Michigan. All very important aspects of business and infrastructure that are super important to success.
You know, Neil, you hit on something that not a lot of people talk about, but that broadband issue just can exclude a small business from commerce throughout the state by not having it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I personally, I've been fortunate also. Great Lakes Energy is my local energy provider, and they've got into the broadband business. TrueStream is their business. And so I've had this fantastic internet now for about a year. But prior to that, I was to the point to where, I mean, I was number one. I was paying through the roof for 5 megs of service, right, which is hardly enough
slow.
Hardly enough to do anything. Unreliable, super slow.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that, you know, especially in Northern Michigan. There's just a lot of those areas yet where, and it's tough because obviously you don't have the density of people, and so
it's not cost effective for them to
economically it's not cost effective.
Yeah.
And I know that the federal government and the state have provided a lot of help in that area, to these companies for expansion. Because of that, it's not really a profitable thing for them. It's really a necessity of a service. So.
Neil, it's kind of interesting because this Dome IQ is kind of to let legislators talk across the aisle, know each other as people, et cetera, et cetera. Has that been a problem for you at all, the bipartisanship?
Well, yeah, I come from I'm an extremely conservative person myself personally, and I come from a conservative district. And so I understand the concept that's talked about a lot of working across the aisle. And that's a fine line. I do understand that without some bipartisan cooperation, it's hard to get a lot of important things accomplished. But at the same time, my people in my district did not elect me to go to Lansing and make deals and cave into my beliefs or the things that they believe that I believe in, just to get something accomplished. So it's way easier said than done, no doubt about that.
There's no doubt about it, but we want to keep chipping away at it.
Right on.
Neil Friske, thanks so much, representative from the 107th District. We appreciate you giving us some time.
Thanks for being here.
All right. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, coming to you from the Atheneum Hotel and Dome IQ. We'll be right back.